All right, shalom, shalom. First thing I want to do is give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostle and elders of great millstone. Citation, you brothers pushing his word with true sincerity, with charity. All right. All right, we got some movement. We got some movement. All right. Let's not forget, all right, 2030 agenda. And I'm gonna start off by saying that. The digital ID, these real IDs, all right. These are things put that's steps towards the implementation, all right, of the mark of the beast, or the MOTB, all right. These are steps, all right, moving forward. Now, King Charles, all right, just approved some legislation, all right, on cryptocurrencies and things of that nature, which makes them basically physical currencies, real assets, all right. It's not just, it's actually money, all right. If you watch things like Futurama and things like that, now if I'm not mistaken, Jupiter's Ascending. All right, they had different currencies and different things, but some of the currencies meant was worth more than the other. All right, and that's the same thing what they doing right here. All right. So let me hit this, and then of course I'm gonna get the infamous revelations. All right. It's I type in Google King Charles approved digital currency, right? Said King Charles formally approved historic legislation that legally recognizes cryptocurrencies and digital assets as a form of personal property in the United Kingdom. The Property, Digital Assets, etc. Act officially established a third category of property under UK law, putting digital holdings out of a previous legal gray zone. All right, so now these things are legitimate assets, right? So you already know if they prove this in the UK, it's coming over here next. Just like with the scamdemics and all of that. Once it start over there, you know what's coming over here next. Just like they found it over there, now they found some shit over here, if you can catch what I'm saying. All right? It's a part of the big plan to be able to control you, cut your funds off. All right, which is also going to be connected to a social credit score. This is what they doing in China. You think these countries are not taking different things from each other? You best to believe it. But it's all going to be it's all going to be, all right, attached to this chip that they're going to put in you. All right, this thing that they're going to put in you. All right, so you could be identified with your money and things like that. It says key details of approved framework. Legal recognition, cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, stablecoins, and NFTs are now officially classified as personal property, giving them distinct ownership rights. Enhanced protections. This state established investors to more easily recover their digital assets in case of theft or fraud, and allows these assets to be included in the state's and insolvency processes. Board oversights in tandem with the Property Act. Royal assets has previously been granted to Financial Services and Markets Act, which empowers regulators. I started over. My daughter called me. All right, it says which empowers regulators like Treasuries, the Bank of England, and financial conduct authorities to oversee and regulate the digital currency and stablecoin sectors. Right? So, and this is also going to make it easier for them to control your funds. If they see you spending too much money on one thing or whatever, and then, however the system sends alerts, they can shut you off. Or if you buying too much food and they see you buying too much food or this and that, they can shut you off. It's really going into them having complete control, and you, all right, the people who accept this mark, all right, to give over their power and basically call Esau their God, right? So I'm gonna read Revelations, all right, 13 and 15. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, which we already know about the Neuralink. We already know about the NFC technology that's connected to RFID technology. We already understand these things, all right? We already know these things exist, and they're here. And then it says all right? So this is going to be something that's going to be implanted in your body, all right, that, that you have to receive. Not nothing spiritual, something physical, all right? And that no man might buy or sell save that he have the mark or the number of the beast or the number of his name, right? So people that say that the mark of the beast is Christianity or whatever the case may be, man, you're going off, because you have to have a physical incision, like that word going to charagma, all right, which is an incision under the flesh with a stake, all right? And when you look at that needle that they use when in the tattoo shops, it look like a stake, all right? And they stick it in you and they insert it, all right? And it says you can't buy or sell. So if you don't have these digital currencies that's attached to the mark, because that's what it's gonna be linked to, all right, your XRPs, your XRPs, your Bitcoins, your Solanas, and all of these different things. If you don't have these currencies, all right, because these things are going to be turned to digital because the dollar is through, all right. If you don't have this mark, all right, then you're not going to be able to move. You're not going to be able to do nothing, all right. And he also said, if you don't comply with this, you're going to basically be excluded from society. So basically, you're going to be in the woods. But eventually, they're going to round you up, cut your head off, or put you to death by fire squad. Or however they do it. All right? But we already understand that we in the times. All right, you see Esau moving. All right, like the scriptures say, the devil come down with you to you having great wrath, because he know he has but a short time. All right, and then you see Esau, all right, kicking Jake out of these Senate seats and things of that nature, because they trying to, it's really the fall, what happened, the fall of Rome. They trying to prevent that. But really, that it don't matter. We're going to rule anyways, because when Yahweh Shai return, he's going to take down, all right, all you kings, just like the scriptures say. He's going to have, matter of fact, let me hit this real quick. So, because it don't matter what you do. All right. All right. This is Revelation 19. And I'm gonna start at 10. Revelation 19 and 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see that thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. And I saw heaven open up, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war, which is talking about Yahweh Shai. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but himself. All right. So these many crowns, was this talking about Yahushua? All right. These many crowns, all right, is the nations that Yahushua is gonna take down, all right, when he returns, man. All right. So when Yahushua returns, he's gonna take down all these nations. He's gonna take take them all down. All right. And so it don't matter what you think you're gonna take anybody out of power. It don't matter. Yeah, you're gonna push your mark of the beast. You're gonna get right at the fullness. You're gonna get to the fullness, all right, of it. And then the Lord is gonna come back and rain on your fucking parade. So with that, I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Al-Shai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. Devil unto the apostle, elders, great millstone. Salutation, you brothers, pushing his word with true sincerity and charity. Shalom and the blah, blah, blah. So you're going to get close. You're going to get mighty close. But you ain't going to taste success.